Hello everyone. My name is Rajneesh Khare and welcome back to the UiPath AI Center series. In the first video of this series, we have covered what is artificial intelligence and machine learning. We saw what is the UiPath AI Center platform, its purpose, and its capabilities as well. We also saw how to enable the AI Center service in Automation Cloud. Now in the second video, we'll see what are the important components or concepts of an AI Center project. So let's get started. Now, whenever you create any new project inside AI Center, you get on this landing page. Here on the left sidebar, you can see many things listed. Let us start with datasets first. Now think of a dataset like a folder on your computer. Just like how you organize files into folders on your computer, a dataset is a special kind of folder used for storing data, from where the machine learning model will learn. Now let's say you are working on a project that involves training a machine learning model to recognize different types of animals based on pictures. Then you would create a data set to store all the pictures of animals that you want the model to learn. This dataset folder might have subfolders also inside it for, let's say, storing different categories of animals like dogs, fishes, birds, and so on. Now, your machine learning model can access all these pictures of animals and learn from them. Whenever you want to add any new pictures to teach your model about more animals, you can simply upload those pictures into this folder. And whenever you open the datasets page, you can see the name of the dataset, what they contain, which is in the description, and when they were created. Let's create a new dataset to show. Click on create. Here you have to enter the name of the dataset, which should align with its purpose. Right now, I'll just call it sample. Next, you should also add a meaningful description telling what kind of data this dataset stores. For now, I'll just enter this is for demo. We can also make our datasets public. That is, we can expose them as an endpoint via API and access remotely as well. Next, click on create and now your dataset is created. Now you can upload files and folders from your local machine. Let's say I'll click on upload files and I want to upload a CSV file. Click on upload and done. The input for a data set can be a CSV file, PDF file, JPEG files, text files, or anything based on the machine learning model that you are using. Now let's talk about a general but very important practice, that is splitting the data. When you are training a machine learning model, you want to make sure it can make accurate predictions on new and unseen data. To ensure this, you split your available data into two separate groups, that is training data and test data, which is also called evaluation data. Now, training data is the subset of your data which takes the larger portion of the whole data. You use this to teach your model how to make predictions. It's like when you study for a test, you go through lots of practice questions to learn the material. Next, testing data is a smaller portion of your data that you set aside. After your model has been trained, you use this data to see how well it performs on new and unseen examples. It's like taking a practice test to see how well you have learned the material. Now, it is a general practice to split your entire data into 80-20 ratio for training and testing. Now, many people use 70-30 ratio as well, but in most cases, 80-20 ratio works the best. Like from a previous example for a model for predicting animals, if I have 100 pictures of dogs, then according to the 80-20 ratio, I would keep 80 pictures in the training dataset and 20 in the testing dataset. We'll explore more when we'll train a model in upcoming videos. Now let's come to data labeling. What is data labeling? Imagine you have a big box of mixed items and you want to organize them into different categories. Now, data labeling is like putting labels on each item to categorize them. Now, when we talk of a machine learning project, data labeling is the process of putting labels or tags on the data to help the computer understand and organize that data better. It's like giving instructions to the computers on how to recognize and sort different types of information. So to do this, we set up labeling sessions. And how do we do that? For example, let's say I'm working with documents. I can choose UiPath document understanding, give it a name, let's say demo, and choose a data set. Now, this is the data set where all your labeled data information will be stored. Let us use the one we created earlier and click create. Make sure you have document understanding service enabled for the tenant you are working with. If not, you can enable it in the same way like we enabled AI Center service in the previous video. Now, once the status is available, we can click on it and it will open up the document manager session for us where we can label our documents. Now, use of this interface is not currently in the scope of this video. We'll see it in action later. Generally, here you can put labels on documents. For example, you can bring your invoices here and put labels for where invoice number is, where invoice date is, etc. Now, all the labeled documents will then be stored in the data set you provided, and then you can train your model on those labeled invoices in AI Center. Now, let's come to ML packages. Probably the most important and interesting concept of AI Center, at least according to me. To understand ML package, think of it something like a box that contains everything a machine learning model needs to work properly. This means that inside the box, that is the ML package, you have the machine learning model itself, along with all the extra stuff that it needs to function well. This includes things like additional software it may rely on and specific settings or instructions on how to use it. Basically, here we can select the machine learning model we want to train. As you can see, we have three options here to do that. Let's start with out of the box packages. These are ready to use packages in AI Center. These are packages provided by UiPath and open source community as well. And as you can see, there are packages covering a lot of variety of use cases like UiPath gives packages for document understanding, image analysis, language analysis. If you come to open source, you find again packages for image analysis, language comprehension, language translation, and tabular data as well. Now let's open one of the packages. I'll open UiPath image analysis. Inside this, I have two models available, one for image classification and one for signature comparison. Let's open image classification. Now, when you open any package, you see this kind of page where you can see the description about the model. Like here it says, this model can be used to classify images and we can train it on our own data. We can see input description, which tells us what kind of data this model will accept and what should be its format. In this case, it says it will accept the full path of images we want to classify, and the format must be JPG, JPEG, or PNG. Next, we have the output description, which tells us what will be the result of this model, its type, and its format as well. Usually, the result is the prediction and a confidence score associated with that prediction. In this case, it will be a JSON which will contain the label of the image, which is the prediction, and also the confidence score between 0 to 1. Now, confidence score is a measurement of how certain or how confident the model is about the prediction it has made. How does it indicate that? If the value of confidence score is near to 1, let's say 0.8 or 0.9, then the model is very confident about its prediction. And if the score is low, then the model is not so confident. Now, we also see this tag of retrainable. The models can be retrainable or non-retrainable. Retrainable models are those to which we can train by providing our own dataset, where in case of non-retrainable model, we cannot train them like the signature comparison model or the text summarization model. Next is the package version, which gets an update from time to time. If I click on submit, I need to give the package name, verify or change these other fields, and finally click on submit. For now, you can see the status is undeployed, meaning we haven't utilized or deployed the package yet. It will change to deployed once we train it and deploy it. Now, if you have your own custom made package built in Python, and you want to import it in AI Center, train it and deploy it, you can do that as well. You can go to upload a zip file, enter all the necessary details like name, description, input type, upload the model zip file, and then click on create. Also, if you ever worked on an ML package in AI Center previously and you downloaded it in your local system, you can import that as well and use it here. Now let's come to pipelines. Once you have your training and testing data set ready and you have selected the model which you want to work with, that is when pipelines comes into picture. Pipelines are a means of training the model on training data and also testing the accuracy of trained model on the testing data. When you click on create new, you can see a pipeline run that asks us for a number of inputs and configuration. These are the basic steps to follow when building any machine learning workflow or project, which are model selection, model training, and model evaluation. Here we can see it. First, it asks us to select the ML package which we want to work with. Then we can choose major and minor version of that package. This is the base version of the model without any training. When a model is trained once, its minor version will increment. Let's say in this case, after training, the package version will become 23.2.1. Next, we need to choose the input dataset, which is our training dataset on which our model will be trained. So let's select that. Next, we need to select the evaluation dataset on which the trained model's accuracy will be tested and also a score of testing will be given. So let's select that. Next, we can set some environment variables specific to the model which we are using, which can be number of epochs, target values, and more, which we'll see later. Now, when I click on create, this pipeline will train our image classification package with the training data and also evaluate the trained package on the testing data and give a score. Here you can see either we can run this pipeline once or schedule it to run later or even make it reoccurring. Remember we discussed about continuous training in our previous video. So here we can configure that. If we keep on adding new training data in our data set, we can retrain our model again and again in order to keep it updated with the new data and have better accuracy. Now this was a full pipeline run example where training and evaluation will occur in a single pipeline run. We have two more types of pipelines, that is training and evaluation separately. As the name suggests, if you select train run, you only need to provide the training dataset and this will give a trained package with the updated package version. If you select evaluation run, you need to provide the updated package version from the training version. Let's say in this case it would be 23.2.1 and the testing data also. Once you run this pipeline, you will get the performance score of how well this model was able to make predictions when it ran the testing data on the trained package. The score is again between 0 and 1. Higher the value, better the model performed. Now, once your model is trained and evaluated, it is ready to deploy and use it in our automation workflows. For that, we move to ML skills. Up to this point, you have uploaded training and testing datasets, selected a model, trained it and tested it as well. Now you want to consume this model by giving it new inputs, which in our case will be pictures of animals and get predictions out of it. To do that, we need to create an ML skill. It is called an ML skill because it adds a new skill or feature to your existing robot and make it smart. In our case, our robot will be able to classify an animal when a picture is provided to it. When you click on create new, again, you need to enter the same details. Remember, you will be selecting the latest package version, which will be the trained package version. And finally, when you click on create, the ML skill will be created and we can use it in our automation workflow inside UiPath Studio. We have the ML skill activity in UiPath Studio, where once we have deployed the ML skill from here, it will be visible in the activity in Studio. We'll see it in action in upcoming videos. Just like datasets, we can also make our ML skills public. In that case, we can use these trained ML packages from anywhere using APIs. Now lastly, we have ML logs. This is the section where we can see logs of all the activities we performed up till this point. whether it was creating or updating datasets, validating packages, running pipelines, or deploying ML skills. This is useful to keep track of all the activities and also to debug in case of any errors. So this brings us to the end of this video. We covered every important concepts related to a project in AI Center. In the next video, we will be moving towards Studio and explore the packages and activities that are required to use the ML skill. And we will also see how we can upload data from Studio in AI Center. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching.